Tom Peters talks about how excellent firms don't believe in excellence, only in constant improvement and constant change. An organization's ability to learn and translate that learning into action rapidly is the ultimate competitive advantage. Jack Welch. Hey, this is Jay Rose from Total Dealer Training. And if you want to live your lifestyle guaranteed, here's some great tips about the BDC, business development. If you're looking to increase, whether it's sales or your income, either way, this is going to be a great section on the biggest differences between buy here, pay here, and retail. The old school way of doing it and the better way that'll get you proven results. First of all, let's just look at business development. BDCs have been around. Technically, we've always had them because business development was done verbally, door to door, talking to people, prospecting. It wasn't really given that name or acronym, Business Development Center, until about the early 90s, late 80s. I know I went through professional phone training probably for the first time in 1988. And a lot of those techniques, unfortunately, hasn't changed, even though the customers have changed. But either way, you don't need a physical building or a room. What you need is just utilize the technology that we have available in order to communicate more effectively with customers, whether that's prospecting, whether that's follow-up, or it's building your business within a business. So let's just take a look at some biggest differences between buy here, pay here, and retail, and why the training you need has to be different. Again, I'm very blessed. I've actually mastered 6 different new car business development scripts for new cars, sales, processes, and every one of those is completely different than buy here, pay here, or should be. With business development, yes, you still need to do prospecting, letting people know who you are, what you do, and where you work. But it's different. You're not prospecting for customers looking to buy a car. You're prospecting for customers who need a car and who basically need an affordable transportation solution that can't get approved at traditional retail stores. If you're fishing for anything else, you're just going to create pollution for yourself and waste your time. I just came back from the Texas IADA convention. It was a great convention, and there was a couple times where I was speaking to dealers, and they were asking me about, which lead generation system and how should I best track that. Well, what I told them, I said, too many times people get caught up in the, how many VDPs, SVPs, how many looks, likes, loves, licks, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter what you have for number of leads. I would never pay for a lead. I wouldn't pay for a click per se, unless you track it all the way down to deliveries. Number one, have a tracking system. We cover that a lot in our other training, but have a tracking system so if you can't figure out how many Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or OfferUp or whatever it is, wherever you're advertising, if you can't trace it all the way through how many people did we connect with, have a contact with, did we set an appointment, did they show, did they purchase, or if they didn't purchase, why? Did we want them and they didn't? Or to look for a training opportunity for skills, or maybe it's not the right customer. If you have customers that are constantly asking you, hey, what's your price, what's your price, what's the discount, what can you give me for my trade value, that is not a buy here, pay here customers. Buy here, pay here customer says, hey, I don't want to drive all the way down there if you can't approve me. How much down payment do I need and what's my payments? That's a buy here, pay here customer. Now, I'm not saying that some buy here, pay here customers may not ask you what the price is just because they don't know what else to ask. But you've got to be trained with the right scripts on how to handle that customer. It's literally as backwards as Spanish and English. Obviously, somewhere up in the Latin language, there's similarities, but that's about where it ends. So if you've worked in a business development center or used new car training in the past from whoever it is, and we'll mention their names, You need to look at this training from Total Dealer Training. It is completely different and it gets results. So you can close 70 to 80% of all the leads that come in and you deliver. And the good news is they're going to pay you for 3 years because we're just going to weed and filter out, not pre-qualify. We're going to effectively filter the right customers. So when they do show up at your branch location, they're the right customers and you can deliver them without them getting mad, feel like they were lied to. You just brought them in and you told them whatever it took to get them in to show for some appointment show bonus, and then they leave you a bad survey. So prospecting in buy here, pay here, you're prospecting for other people's turndowns. In retail, you're prospecting for anybody that is not buy here, pay here, anyone that wants to buy a vehicle. Because usually most retail stores have banks, credit unions, subprime lending sources to get a lot of people done, but not everybody. Your messages have to be completely different. Your website should be completely different. Your post should be different. In retail, you're posting about your inventory, your dealership, your service department. It's all about the car. You want to have 16 pictures, every single little detail about the car if you're posting in retail. If you're buy here, pay here, you should have 1 picture, maybe 3. Otherwise, you're making the content of the message too much about the car. It has to be about the finance program. Oh, by the way, here's a really sexy picture of an F-150. Here's an Impala. Here's an SUV. That's it. It's about, since 1980, we've been helping customers with quality vehicles and financing. We're buy here, pay here. We're opposite of a traditional dealership. We don't do cash transactions. All we do is short-term financing for those that, when other dealers say no, we say yes. We just want to thank our sponsors. If you're looking for the DMS that's designed specifically for the used car dealer, subprime dealer, or buy here, pay here, look no further than Auto Action. Right here in Texas, they're Texas-based, incredible service. You pick up the phone, you get a hold of them. I've heard for years all the frustrations with the other DMSs and the support that's needed. This is the solution that I've used personally in dealerships to help sell more cars, reduce repossessions, and making sure it takes care of all your inventory management, sales, and buy here, pay here needs. Give them a call and check them out at the number below. Bad credit, no credit, bankruptcy, no problem. Those are the type of messages that should be in your bullet point, not having half of your ad taken up about features on the vehicle. So again, BDC is really marketing, it's advertising, it's what are you putting out there to fish with. You can get lots of leads, but if they're the wrong leads, you have to look at how much does it cost me, not just dollars. You could basically get lots of leads from Facebook, get 1,000 leads, and I've seen that happen when I first went into a store, and they deliver 2. They're like, well, 2's good, right? It didn't cost me much as far as pay per click or pay for deliveries with those 1,000 leads. I'm like, yeah, but you're missing something. The dealer's like, what? How much did it cost you and your team hourly and the fully burdened cost of their time to handle 1,000 phone calls and 1,000 leads? Oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah, you need to add that into your ROI equation. Plus, it's demotivating when you get people that keep calling. If you get a buffet and all you have is a buffet, they keep calling for, hey, what's your cheapest hamburger? What's your cheapest taco? It's not a buffet customer. So why didn't you just put buffet or buy here, pay here screaming all over your ad? What are you afraid of? We can't be everything to everyone anymore. So pick a side and make sure that you're doing properly. Customer referrals. Customer referrals are absolutely critical. As far as they're very inexpensive. I pay $200. I don't know what you pay. I've had dealers that pay $50 for customer referrals. They don't get many of them. You pay $200, guess what? It gets their attention. They start letting everyone know on their phone and their friends and their family and at work, hey, go down and check them out. They have the best buy here, pay here program out there. Plus that extra $200 customer referral and buy here, pay here, that can go towards paying for their next bi-weekly payment. You want to get customer referrals in retail as well. In either case, focus, if you're going to make 20, 30 calls a day, just make them to current customers and get them to refer people to us. The old adage is birds of a feather flock together. Bad credit follows bad credit, good credit follows good credit. In either way, everyone knows someone with bad credit. So focus on customer referrals. I would do that way before I go post 100 posts on social media to get a 5%, 10% closing ratio customer. Customer referrals close, give or take, about 60 to 70%. So just something to think about and knowing what your statistics are. Business referrals. Business referrals, not as much in new cars. I've always had alliances when I ran new car stores where, if I was in a Toyota store, I had the top Honda people, salespeople, or product specialists sending us a customer. If the customer's going to come here anyway, might as well have them send it to us, and I'll pay them a referral, or not. But in Buy Here, Pay Here, there's absolutely, it's bread and butter. Since 2005, I've used this to help literally blow the lid off of leads and good quality customers with my Buy Here, Pay Here stores. Give me a call if you want specific information on how to do this. Very detailed, very important. If you don't do it right, it's going to blow up in your face. But can literally double your success in Buy Here, Pay Here. Because you want to get all the customers that have been turned down from all the retail stores that are going in a dead deal somewhere in an F&I manager's office. That's gold for you. But you have a very short time to have that person get you the name and number before that person finds an approval somewhere else on their own, and you won't get paid. So, really important, great way to double your business. But then once you have the right customers, the BDC net has to handle them properly. If you don't handle them properly, you're not going to get a customer to show up that will actually buy your car. Oh, you can lie to people, which has been taught to do by other people. I would never advocate that. Tell the customer anything. Oh yeah, sure, we can do anything you want. Get them to show up, and then we can't, and now they're pissed. You're better off just telling them the truth about your program up front. Give them everything up front, except for price. And we'll talk about that in future training. But you want to make sure that you filter the customer. They know who you are. It's for Buy Here, Pay Here. When other customers can't get approved, they come to us. If you have great credit, we recommend people go to CarMax, Texas Direct, Carvana, whoever, or your local dealership that you're referring to. The goal is we're a rehabilitation center. We're not 24-hour fitness. We get confused, and that's why it's important to make sure when you do your merchandising and your signs out front, make sure people know. Like the current dealership I'm working with, they just have a sign. It just has a basic name. Auto Sales Motor Company. Nothing in there says easy credit, Buy Here, Pay Here. So we had to get banners and flags that say this is Buy Here, Pay Here. Bad credit, no problem. Easy credit. So the customers that were retail customers with an 800 credit score, which we're not bringing in our program, they know up front who we are and who we're not. It's like having the restaurant. Again, the example. If you're only a buffet, put the sign out there. Buffet. It means better value, higher prices. And then going back to once you handle the customers properly, that means handling them on the phone, email leads, text leads, posting responses. Make sure that you use the right messages on your texting, on your emails, using video. That's why I only use CRM that has it's focused and made for texting and video. All inside the call. You should be on that CRM too. Follow up. In new cars, you're pretty much, the old adage is follow up till they buy or die. Well, the difference is in Buy Here, Pay Here, if we say no, there's no way we're approving this customer. Don't follow up. Those notes need to be in the CRM, which is delivered. That means if you follow up a sold or delivered customer, only talk about the referral program. Don't try to bring them back in to buy a car. The notes need to say that. If it's not approved, they make $900 a month. Good person, but can't afford our $550 a month program. Don't follow them up to have them come back in. Only follow up the customers that we approve, but for whatever reason, the customer hasn't said yes to us. Maybe they're still thinking about the price or the interest rate or the type of car that they qualify for or their down payment. or that the payment's higher than they want because it's 3 years instead of 8 years. Whatever the reason, the key is communicate effectively. BDC needs to make sure that you have your training book, just like our Total Dealer Training 82-page workbook on how to actually handle any scenario you'll ever need. The biggest thing is know the difference between buy here, pay here, and retail, and know the difference between old school techniques that work some of the time versus the TDT techniques that work all the time. If you like this video, just go ahead and click below, forward it to someone else in the business that may be struggling or wants to improve their business development process so they can sell more and make more. We'll see you on the next video. Total Dealer Training trains and coaches dealership personnel through online, in-dealership, and live workshops. We educate, motivate, and develop the skills of your team to improve results while allowing them to be the best possible versions of themselves. If you want more information about our services, visit our totaldealertraining.com website, or you can call me directly at 904-955-7666. We can customize a training solution that'll meet your dealership needs. Look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, or comment so you can be notified when future videos are released.